Sadly, the American was cramping after her exploits in the wind and rain of Gateshead, and so has returned to the United States. But still a very, very high-quality field here, which includes Fraser-Pryce and Talu and Okakbari on the inside lane there. Mavari Al-Shamari from Kuwait, two-time national champion. She goes in one. Cara Parker from USA, member of the 4x100 relay bronze winning team here in Doha 2 years ago in two. There is Okakbari, 32 years old now, Olympic and world long jump silver. Got a great start in Gateshead last weekend in the pouring rain, but then faded to fifth in 11:57. But she'll be much more suited, I'm sure, to the warm conditions here. Marie-Josée Talu also performed very well indeed, came ahead of Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, who's just to her right, to finish in third last weekend, world bronze here 2 years ago in the 100 metres. Talu then, all the experience goes in lane 4. There is Fraser-Pryce, 34 years old now, multiple Olympic and world champion, including the reigning world champion from here 2 years ago, aiming to become the first mother to win an Olympic title in Tokyo in 9 weeks' time. She goes in 5. Javianne Oliver, outstanding indoor season, won the World Indoor Tour, unbeaten inside. She was 6th in Gateshead last weekend. She goes in 6. Hannah Cunliffe in 7, former NCAA indoor champion, based in Florida. She goes in 7. And completing the lineup, Isla Del Ponte from Switzerland, the newly crowned European indoor champion, part of that excellent group based in Papendal with Laura Muley, and the likes of Femke Bol and Nika Klaver. So Bol, Del Ponte in 8, Okakbari in 3, Talu in 4, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, whose biggest motivation, she said, this year is perhaps not retaining her Olympic title, but to go sub 10.7. That is a big deal, she says, for the rest of her career. So the lineup again: Al-Shamari in 1 from Kuwait, Parker USA in 2, Okakbari, the Nigerian, the tall figure, goes in 3, Talu, the diminutive Ivorian, in 4, Fraser-Pryce, there she is with the headband, in 5, Oliver, USA 6, Cunliffe, USA 7, Del Ponte, Switzerland, in lane 8. Women's 100 metres. Well, once again, Okakbari gets a good start, but Fraser-Pryce already into her running along with Talu. Also going well is Oliver, but Fraser-Pryce coming away with it. Fraser-Pryce lights out into the line. Fraser-Pryce with a slight tailwind, 10.84, the winning time. Well, that's progress, and of course, a completely different race, totally different conditions. And having laboured to 11:57 last weekend in the driving rain in the northeast of England, well, you could say normal service resumed here. A season's best for Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. 9 weeks to go until the Olympic Games in Tokyo, and I'm sure she'll say little steps, baby steps, stepping stones, preparation, and that will feel good. Okakbari coming in 2nd place and continuing her excellent start to the season. But victory there for the double Olympic champion.
Yeah, very impressive indeed. And I actually had the chance to interview her in Gateshead about the season ahead, and we talked about the fact she'd missed last year because Olympics. She had such a good 2019. What a good start here again tonight. And it's that platform of consistency which gave her that World Championship in 2019. 11 times. It was her best year ever for running under 11 seconds in 2019. 11 sub-11 second performances, and here we are early, as you said, Chris, still fairly early in the season. Gateshead wasn't the place to do it, but a scintillating run here from Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. 34, mum, all of that sort of thing going on, but is still going to be right up there. Let no one have any doubt whatsoever. As good as Dina Asher-Smith was, as good as Sha'Carri Richardson is looking, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, and of course, let's not forget Elaine Thompson. Okakbari is in the mix, but she keeps running like this, starting like this, consistency. She can pop that. She's talked about sub 10.7, and who knows, that's what it might need come Tokyo, because they're all running quick, and I'm sure they're all running.
At the Doha Diamond League, the women's 100 metres featured one of the most anticipated early season matchups, Sha'Carri Richardson versus Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. The cameras zoomed in. The chatter was electric. One side of the world was backing the bold and brash American making her return to the top ranks. The other side had already seen this story before, and they knew how it usually ended when Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce was in the lineup. As the women settled into their blocks, it was clear this wasn't just about winning. This was about legacy. About respect. The gun fired, and immediately, Shelly-Ann got the jump. Her reaction was near perfect. But it's not just about reacting quickly, it's how you leave the blocks. And Shelly-Ann left with purpose. Low, compact, and violent with her first steps. Her angles were pristine. Ground contact time was minimal. She was driving forward like she had something to prove. And maybe she did. Sha'Carri, by contrast, stumbled out of the gate, not in the literal sense, but in sprinting terms. She gave up the race within the first 5 meters. Her hips popped up early. Her shin angles flattened too fast. She was trying to run tall before she had even generated speed. It's a recurring issue for her in big races. And against someone like Fraser-Pryce. That's not a mistake you survive. By the 30-meter mark, the gap was visible. Shelly-Ann had built a full meter of separation. What makes her deadly is the way she transitions into top speed. Her form doesn't change. No wasted movement. Arms tight. Core engaged. Knees up. Stride length and stride frequency both near maximum. It's not just fast, it's efficient. Sha'Carri tried to respond in the middle of the race, and you could see her begin to open up. She does have elite top-end speed. But the problem was the clock. And the competition. Fraser-Pryce was already at maximum velocity, and she wasn't decelerating. In fact, she was separating further. This wasn't about Sha'Carri being slow, this was about Shelly-Ann being better. By 70 meters, the race was decided. The only thing left was the margin. Fraser-Pryce powered through the line in 10.8 seconds, barely flinching. A clean, efficient run. No theatrics. No celebration. Just business. Sha'Carri came in well behind, and for a woman known for her fire, there was nothing she could say this time. No interview quotes. No viral tweets. Just the brutal honesty of the stopwatch. Shelly-Ann's performance wasn't just dominant, it was a masterclass in execution. At 37 years old, she's defying time, expectations, and challengers who weren't even in high school when she won her first Olympic title. And on this day in Doha, she didn't just beat Sha'Carri, she buried the narrative that youth, hype, or headlines can replace experience, discipline, and flawless technique. That was the real takeaway. In a world obsessed with who's next, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce reminded everyone that who's best still matters more.